Has anyone heard from Cap? Is he coming today?
Nah, I think he's taking
I
another
thought
day for himself, the lazy son of a bitch.
it's been
What?
like a month. What the fuck's taking him so long?
We've been waiting in this exact spot for his ass to come back, and it just didn't. You know what? You know what, guys? I'm doing it. I'm going to drive to his house right fucking now, and I'm going to take his computer, and I'm going to touch everything in his room. And then I'm going to,
I love it.
fuck. Hey, buddy. How's it going?
How's you doing, bud?
We kept it warm for you, dude. We really held it down.
Yeah.
How much of the last 5 minutes? How much? Fuck.
All right, guys. What is going on? My name is Joe, aka Cap.
I'm Dom, not Mysterio.
Scott Bash.
Motherfuck.
And
he's Francis.
Is the Push Boys. We're back.
Yes,
we're back at full strength.
Back street.
I missed you guys.
All right.
Folks. We do apologize that it has been so long. Did you miss us? We missed you.
No.
All right. Well, you probably didn't miss Francis, but like you probably missed the rest of us. But you know, life things happened. Some of us went on a cruise. Some of us were working in the NBA Finals.
I hope you stub your toe in the shower.
But we're back. And thankfully, guys, I don't think much has happened since we left. Let me just check my phone real quick. And oh my God.
Yep.
Oh my God.
And that was just week one.
Things. So many different things. Dear God, what the hell? It's been like 2 weeks. What the hell?
A lot can happen in 2 weeks.
So, guys,
longer than that.
It's plainly obvious that a lot has been happening in the past couple of weeks when it comes to wrestling. So, how do you guys want to start? Where do we begin with all of this?
Money in the Bank. Start from the top.
We did do a prediction game.
Brilliant idea, Scott. That sounds like an absolutely brilliant idea. Let's start
down the storyline.
Let's start with Money in the Bank, which was 2 weeks ago. And overall, I thought it was a pretty good show. I thought it was a decent event. I feel like almost everything went the way I anticipated it would. Still though, a couple of like pretty major surprises, I would say. Before we get into it, what did you guys overall think of Money in the Bank 2025?
I thought it was pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was about what I expected. It was, it was WWE always does a pretty good job with Money in the Bank, so
yeah.
It wasn't like groundbreaking. It wasn't anything crazy, but it wasn't like shitty either.
I'm not gonna say that it was, completely groundbreaking or anything like that, but there's definitely a couple of things that happened I would have never seen coming in a million years.
Mm-hmm.
Scott, overall thoughts?
I don't know. There was one major match I thought was like a complete failure. The others, I don't know. It was good, obviously, because the wrestlers that were in there obviously going to put on a good show, especially Logan Paul. But I don't know. I felt like it could have been a little different. It could have been a little.
All right. Well, it sounds like you might have been a little disappointed with a couple of things. But let's get into it, guys. This is our review of Money in the Bank 2025.
Motherfucker!
Now, as you guys know, we didn't get to do our usual prediction show, so we did post our predictions on TikTok, which you guys should be following at The Push Wrestling.
Nice plug. Oh, feels so good. Oh,
God, that
He's been
hatred
waiting
is
2
back.
weeks to say that. He has been waiting 2 weeks to say that.
Oh, I've been holding that in. Oh, God. Oh, God. Ah. Anyway, what happened?
So anyway, let's talk about the first match, which was the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. This was a, I'm not gonna lie, guys, this was a stacked one. This was a stacked match.
It was, yeah, definitely with the stack match.
Yeah, it was.
But
But
go on with the cap. But I think you're going to agree with what I'm thinking. Stack match, but
so anyway, hold on. Let me do this properly. So the competitors in this match were Rhea Ripley, Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, Naomi, Roxanne Perez, and who was the sixth woman?
the sixth one's the winner.
No, he
No,
already said.
No, I
No,
said
he already-
her name.
No,
Oh,
he
he
already
said
said.
you.
I already said her name.
He said Naomi.
Yeah, he said Naomi.
Bliss.
Wasn't it Alexa Bliss?
Oh
Yes.
yes, Alexa. My bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I said, a pretty stacked roster, pretty stacked field here for the Money in the Bank. I genuinely think that any of these women could have won and it would have been fine. But as we've already spoiled, Naomi did win the match, and I will say that was the one I did not see coming out of all of them. I genuinely did not see Naomi coming out of this. And maybe that's why it's perfect. Maybe that's why this is the absolute correct answer.
Yeah. None of us
But-
picked Naomi, right?
No.
No,
No.
I don't think any of us picked Naomi.
Yeah.
We all
So-
got it wrong.
But
No.
before that, I do want to say, yeah, I thought this match was great. I thought it was great. I like each of these women that were in this match. I don't know why I keep going for Roxanne, but I just feel like a breakout for her is coming. Like it's just like a feeling that I have that like a breakout for her is coming, and it's coming very quickly, I feel.
Yes, I felt that way at first, but now that she's like basically part of the Judgment Day, she's not winning the title anytime soon.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a-
Actually, though,
No.
now that a little talk for later, but now that Liv Morgan is injured, that might change.
I mean, I'm not even sure like where that storyline even goes without Liv, but regardless of that,
I mean, they have to pivot.
well, regardless of that, let's talk about the actual match. What did you guys think of the match?
I liked it. It was a very fast-paced, frenetic, everything a money in the bank ladder match should be. I was genuinely surprised at the winner, though. But hey, I guess that can be a good thing sometimes.
All right, first of all, we need to talk about. Hold on, before you say anything, we need to talk about the fact that Francis just used the word phonetic.
Incorrectly.
Man, we go away for 2 weeks, and the man eats a thesaurus.
You're a fucking thesaurus.
All right.
I would be more impressed if he,
Use the word
used the word correctly.
But anyway, Scott.
So I'll be going at this a different way because I didn't get to see the pay-per-view. I was working. The win. This was probably one of the worst winners we've had when it comes to a Money in the Bank winner as a whole. She's not really have any fan base behind her. She doesn't really pop with anybody. The heel turn is weird. It doesn't feel right with me when her being a heel. So when she acts like it just doesn't go the way she is not really a heel. Like, she could probably play a good heel. There's no vibe of a heel that doesn't really match her personality. But um, I would say this was probably the one of the worst. I would say even worse than Otis, because at least Otis had a fan base at that time when he won it. At least people liked him. He was very liked at that time when he was winning it. Even though it came up being he got rid of it and it was part of a storyline that he lost it and everything, at least people liked him. People cheered for his character. But Naomi comes out, it's not really nothing really comes out. Nothing pops out.
So I'm
He doesn't
gonna
come.
so I'm gonna take the stand here for a moment. Um, like I said, Naomi winning this. If you looked at that list of superstars that were in this match, you're absolutely correct. I would not have picked Naomi out of all of them. But I think maybe that's the reason why the answer should be Naomi winning that match. I mean, let's think about this for a moment. Let's look at the list of names that were on this. 3 of these women just got called up. All 3 of them fantastic. All 3 of them fantastic talents. Stephanie, Julia, Roxanne. All of them are fantastic. The other 2, household names. Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley. Like we've said, Rhea is definitely the most popular woman on the show. Probably in top 5 of the most popular superstars, men and women, on that the WWE has right now. At least in the top 5. But here's the thing when it comes to that. They are such like names, those other 5, that it almost feel, and tell me if I'm off here. It almost feels weird having them like in the shadows waiting to cash in on an opportunity. When they feel like they're names that should be main eventing, it almost feels weird having them like in the shadows almost. You know what I mean? Do you guys know what I mean?
So I get where you're coming from, but then you look at the past of the Money in the Bank contract, and you've had guys like Brock Lesnar holding that
Yeah,
briefcase.
I wasn't particularly a fan of that one.
I mean, I wasn't a fan either, but like that, your argument kind of goes out the window there.
Well, I mean, listen, I can't explain the the Brock Lesnar thing. I
Block
genuinely
party.
thought it was weird. But to be honest with you, I don't think it works against my argument. I think if anything, it's proof of my argument because, you know, did it feel natural having Brock Lesnar with the Money in the Bank briefcase? Did it feel like, oh yeah, this is a guy who should have the briefcase?
Well,
I
I don't
mean,
know
Doc,
how you
when
guys
you
Not at
feel,
all.
but for me, no.
when your mental image is him just holding it like a boombox and
boombox,
just
yeah.
dancing, I kind of been like, yeah, I don't think he deserves to have it, especially at that time where he was just pop. I mean, no, it actually does kind of hurt because for Brock Lesnar, it's a bad example because at that time frame, he was the person that was always just popping in and getting it, and we were so pissed off because he
Mm-hmm.
was constantly winning that title. And at that point, when he won the Money in Bank, we're like, for the love of God, please just stop winning this
Well,
championship.
that's all I'm saying. That's my whole point. Is you can't say that someone's too big of a name for the briefcase when they've had Brock Lesnar hold it, The Miz.
I don't know. I feel like the Money in the Bank briefcase is meant for like a specific type of character, you know? And
Yeah, I guess, but like,
Brock,
Brock was
excuse
just
me.
bad booking. No need to disguise it for
Yeah,
what it is. That was just bad booking.
no, I know. Either way,
yeah.
I hope like I don't think Naomi was the best choice to have the briefcase, but I'm hoping that WWE proves me wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I think the thing is that Naomi is the one that most needed it, I think.
Oh no, I agree. But like
It would have
Scott
been
said, it's
nice.
like she doesn't.
No,
Well, my
I
my
would
whole thing with
argue.
Scott, it's like,
Go ahead.
I,
go ahead.
I would argue that no, she wasn't even the person that needed that the most. The person that needed that the most and could have. I mean, obviously, this is a storyline prediction, but we've been wanting Alexa Bliss to go to the Wyatt Six. It would have been very good for Alexa Bliss to win that championship and go to that faction and help bust, boost up the faction with the championship around her waist.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, Alexa can win on her own. She doesn't necessarily need the briefcase.
Sure.
Especially, she's very over with the fans. And that's the thing. Naomi, I
Naomi
agree.
needs it, I think.
She needs it to get a fucking reaction because at the moment she gets nothing. Like Scott said earlier, her music hits, she comes out and she gets like a half-ass pop and like some booze, but nothing
Yeah.
crazy.
Still trying to
Not
get
like she
used to
used
that
to.
new theme song, by the way.
Yeah.
Anything that was made by fucking Def Rebel is ass.
Yeah. Someone call up CFO dollar sign. Those guys are really cool.
Yeah, true.
They were definitely better than Def Rebel, but
That's not a hard thing to do.
no, bro, fucking a 12-year-old on GarageBand can probably make better music than Def Rebel. Um. Anyway, moral of the story: I'm hoping that this does something for Naomi.
I'm hoping it does.
Unless the only thing I could think of if they don't have a plan for her is that she's gonna wind up being the first woman to fail her cash in.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If
Because
that's what happens,
the women's Money in the Bank briefcase has a 100% success
it
uh,
does. But
100% success rate.
I'm going to be completely honest with you, Dom. If that happens, if she does fail her cash in, at that point
She's
we
cooked.
we need to just talk about her retirement at that point, I think. Because
Ouch.
let's call
Just
this
forever
let's call this what it
just
is.
forever a side character.
Hold on.
I was gonna say she just gets classified as a jobber. It's not that deep.
Well, I mean, let's call it what it is. And I believe I heard this somewhere. This might be her last shot at a big run.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I agree
been
because
what, 2 years now that she's been back in WWE.
something like that.
I believe so.
You know, she's been wrestling for a while now. She's great. She's fantastic. Great talent. But
She just
you
gets
know,
no reaction from the crowd.
Yeah.
How are you gonna put a big strap on someone like that who doesn't get a reaction?
and that's what
Unless they're gonna be a transitional champion or they're just
I'm hoping we can figure out here. I'm worried that we're going to be not seeing her around for much longer. And especially with the amount of talent that's now coming in to WWE from NXT, from TNA,
She'll
from
probably be like
everywhere
Naomi.
else.
Not Naomi. She'll probably be like what's her Natalia,
Yeah.
where she just pops up every once in a while for a moment that can suit her appearance.
But here's the thing, this is like her real last chance, I feel, at a major push. And so, you know, is it going to work out? You know, can they figure out a way for people to start getting excited about seeing Naomi? You know, that's left to be
she
determined.
has to get over with the crowd. Like they can't do it for her. If the crowds don't want to see her, there's nothing. They can only do so much creative wise.
Huh? You know,
Giving her a title isn't like a fix all.
Yeah.
It's not gonna.
I don't know, man.
It could help. Maybe she'll get a pop depending on who she cashes in on
Mm.
and who she feuds with. But it's like, who is she even gonna feud with?
I mean,
Because realistically, who's Naomi most likely to cash in on? at this point.
Tiffany
At
Stratton.
this point, I think it'd be Tiffany.
Yeah.
Like at this point,
I
it's
don't
probably
think
Tiffany.
so. Then you know she's gonna have at least one feud with Tiffany afterwards, like where Tiffany tries to get the belt back. And then who does she feud? Well, that's probably, you know what? Now that I say it out loud, this makes the most sense. That's how we also get the title on Jade.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Because you have her cash in, win the title, and then Jade Cargill goes after Naomi.
Jade gets her get back.
Yeah.
though she's gotten her get back like a million times now.
Yeah, but now there's a title on the line.
But now
But
we
now
have a
she's
title.
going to get her super get back.
All right. Yeah, let's go.
All right, that's enough about that. Let's move on to the next.
We got a lot of topic.
Yeah, we got a million things to talk about. So let's move on.
We probably
The
skip
next
some of
match.
these matches.
The next match was, I believe, the women's Intercontinental Championship match.
Mm-hmm.
Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria.
The
Becky
roundup point for the group. No,
And-
not a roundup group point. Francis picked Lyra.
picked Lyra.
I did.
Francis,
Yeah.
you picked Lyra.
Loser.
All right.
Everybody else
I mean,
picked Becky.
I predicted Becky, and she did win
So,
through the power of cheating.
As any good heel should.
Well,
Exactly. I'm going to be honest. What I've seen through this so far, and what I've seen in the follow up after, we've completely dropped Lyra from this entire thing. By the way, now, because she's now feuding with Bayley. Oh, by the way, Bayley's back, everybody.
But Bayley's also feuding with Becky Lynch, so it's like three-way feud.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen Lyra.
It's weird,
but
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you again. I'm not quite engaged in this Becky Lynch heel turn. I don't know what it is. It still feels repetitive to me. It feels like
Because she still
three
came back as the
different
man.
acts are doing the same
I was
exact
gonna
thing.
say honestly,
She didn't
I
update
don't
her
think-
character at all.
as much as I love Becky Lynch, and I think she's a great wrestler because she really is.
Dom, you can whisper just to be
She's-
sure. You don't have to sleep
Yeah, I
on the
know.
couch tonight.
She's no, because then I'm pretty sure Chrissy feels the same way right now. She's never going to match what she had
in 2019?
in 2019. Exactly, in 2019.
Oh my God, your wife is
Because-
behind you with a knife.
Yeah.
Imagine.
No, but I'm pretty sure. Like I said, I still think Becky is a phenomenal wrestler, but I think her peak was the man persona, and like Becky 2 belts and feuding with Charlotte and Ronda just really, it was the ultimate underdog story. She was the one that was left out of everything, even though it's like she deserved the title, and this and that. So
Yeah.
now that it's like she's up there at that level, where do you go from here? There's only so much you could do.
Well, I mean,
This heel turn ain't it.
I mean, I feel like okay. Here's I'm gonna try to be careful with this, but I make no promises. Over the past year, when she was on her hiatus, or whatever we're calling whatever that was last year,
Or
vacation, her hiatus, her
Paid
brief
vacation.
Her outer discovery from the WWE.
we got a taste of a WWE, a women's division without Becky Lynch. And I think the thing that a lot of her fans have to accept is the fact that we also kind of liked a WWE without her. We figured out, we didn't quite know what it was going to feel like without her, because for so many years she was just a core part of this division, and we weren't really sure where the division was going to go without her.
Yeah.
But
no, I 100% agree.
And here's the thing, it's like I said with Naomi, we've got new talent coming in now, and not just any talent. These women are popular. Roxanne is popular. Stephanie Vaquer, everybody loves her. Julia, everybody loves her so far.
Yeah.
And
That
and just
that's
more are
my whole
coming.
thing. Yeah, because like I said, you look back in 2019 and 2018, 2019. A lot of the women in the women's division then were still kind of stuck in the divas era in a way. And then Becky and Charlotte were the two that really kind of broke the mold and
I feel like
did more. Like,
I
yes, like you know what I mean. Like not 100% because you still had Bailey, who Sasha Banks was
in some
whatever
respects you had
when
Rhea too. She was still in
Rhea was
NXT at
like
the time.
just coming in,
Yeah.
and she was also only in
But I feel
NXT.
like
So it's like the 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 common, the
Denominator.
the casual fan. I was trying to think of the word casual. Um, the casual fan
didn't know her yet.
didn't know who Rhea was yet
So
because she was like just breaking in,
so I will
and Rhea wasn't the badass that she is now
so
yet.
I will agree with you. It did feel
Yeah,
like during that time there was the four horsewomen, but everybody else was still trying to
it's
figure
just
out,
there.
well, what's the deal now? Because we're not
Hmm.
in the diva era anymore.
Yeah,
And
now
so
it's the women's evolution,
Mhm.
and
it was a
moving on
matter
to
of them trying
the
to figure out what is my identity now. Like
mhm.
I gotta do more now. There has to be extra to this. And you know what? To give them their credit, a lot of them figured out a thing.
Oh yeah,
A lot
absolutely.
of them figured it
And not
out.
not to discredit any of the women from back then, because like you still had like Carmella, Asuka,
Yeah,
Kairi Sane was
just getting
killing
her
it in
started.
NXT.
Liv
Shayna
Morgan was
Baszler
that.
was
Liv Morgan was still trying to find herself at that time frame. Like she
Liv
wasn't nowhere
Morgan
where
was
she
still
was
part of the
today.
Riot
Liv
Squad.
Morgan was
Mhm.
trying to figure
Yeah,
things out.
Liv
Um,
Morgan, you still had the whole Riot Squad back then. Um,
God.
so it's like I'm not saying that like all the women were like stuck in this divas era, but like Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair specifically
no,
were
they
the
were
one, and then you introduce Ronda Rousey, who is a genuine
icon.
fighter.
She's an icon.
Yeah, household name, a legit fighter, fucking UFC champion, Olympic medalist, fucking black belt in judo.
Mhm.
right.
2019,
So she
it wasn't just a joke. She was the baddest woman
yeah
on the planet.
she was a legit and is a legitimate badass. So you bring her in to feud with Becky and Charlotte. Becky and Charlotte were the only ones, like not the only ones, but like they were the ones that you went to in that time to be like, we need to do
Yeah,
something big.
Yeah.
We need to
Ronda
do a
sucked
last woman
ass.
standing match.
Yeah.
So
Yes, but that doesn't take away, like Ronda wasn't a great wrestler, but that doesn't take away from the fact of that she's a legit fighter.
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah,
She is a real fighter.
oh yeah, she is. I None of her accomplishments are diminished, depending on
Because she is
regardless of
half-assed at
how
wrestling.
you feel her WWE run was.
Yeah. But
Um,
my point is, like, you look at Becky, you look at Charlotte. When they said, "Hey, we want to do an all women's pay per view. We're gonna have the first ever last women standing match." Becky Charlotte, boom,
yeah, it was
easy.
easy. It was easy. But here's the problem: it's not as easy anymore because
No,
there are
because now you have
so
so
much
many
talent
options.
now.
Mhm.
Yeah, and again, not to say that the women in 2018, like, yeah, we talk about 2018 like it's that long ago. It's only like fucking 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Not that long. Um, Most of the women that were active then are still active in the WWE,
Mhm.
but they evolved. They said, "Hey, we're gonna start doing some more stuff. Like we're gonna train like the men. We're gonna do more wrestling, less catfighting."
Yeah.
Less catfighting,
You know,
more wrestling, and more
it
character.
Mhm.
Honestly,
yes. So having that
and
was huge.
her man character doesn't necessarily give her that much of a breathing room. Like
Yeah.
Exactly.
Rhea, like Rhea's
The man
basic,
was
just like
revolutionary.
hardcore
Well-
rock or metal, and it's like you can do so much
Mhm.
with that and not change your character.
In the slightest, yeah.
No, it
But that's
was.
what I'm saying. Like you look at Becky Lynch, and it's like the man character was revolutionary
It was.
in 2019, and like it was.
Yeah, because everybody was arguing between Seth and Roman, and then once she said it, we were all like, "All right, why not?"
Yeah,
We accepted
alright,
it so
Becky's
easily, and we
you know,
loved it.
Becky's the man. Like she was basically that year, like the Stone Cold of that time. Like
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah,
she could do whatever she wanted. She would get a cheer, this and that. Now
she's
it's like
she's the reason. She's probably
because
the reason
you.
why the women's division's so good now.
Yeah.
Except for
Oh
the
no,
tag
100%. Between the four horsewomen and like all the efforts of
the Force Horm- the
the
Force
women
Horsewoman, and Alexa.
and Alexa
But
Bliss.
here's
Alexa was
here's
great,
the thing, and I bring it all back to the actual topic here. And we're basically just talking about Becky's heel turn at this point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you, there wasn't much to talk about with the match. It was a fantastic match. I've said it before.
Yeah.
But
These two don't know how to put on a bad match, but I'm not understanding the heel turn because the heel turn doesn't make any sense. What she's saying doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
This grievance of like nobody ever said thank you. Millions of people said thank you to her.
Yeah.
When you left last year, millions said thank you.
Chanting. No, honestly, I think this is just kind of lazy booking at this point. It's like, hey, we need a heel. Becky's coming back. Let's make her a heel.
But it's also
Um,
like this. It's repeated. This is
mhm.
Tell me, what is the difference between this and John Cena right now?
Oh no, I
What
agree
is the
100%.
difference between this and
That's
the
what I'm
New
saying.
Day?
It's lazy creative.
We're just copy pasting
So
characters.
I don't blame Becky on this one. I blame creative. I think if they put the effort in to give Becky a genuine heel turn and like a real reason to turn heel, then yeah, I could see it. I'm sure she could pull it off. You know, um, but moral of the story is Becky's the IC champion.
Yeah.
Heel turn is weird.
I will say
Um,
this. I will
can I
say
get
this.
a?
I will say
I really-
oh yeah.
I will say that
I
Bayley
got
versus
news, but
Becky
it's kind of
does
the
elevate
topic
that
that we're gonna do later.
Hold on. Do we have breaking news?
Breaking news of Liv Morgan.
Okay.
This is a very short. This is just on my phone. Liv Morgan out a lengthy amount of time after suffering injury on Raw, shoulder surgery
Oh, she has to have surgery.
on her
Ouchie
on her
McDouchies.
shoulder. Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh boy.
Well,
All right. Well, let's see
oh,
where
we
this
can. I
goes
guess we
now.
could talk about that for a minute.
You might
So
as well.
this past Monday, Liv Morgan and Kyrie Sane had a singles match together on Monday Night Raw. Kyrie went for like a drop toe hold, like Russian sweep, leg sweep kind of thing. Liv took the bump, landed on her forearm and elbow, and in the slow motion replay, you could see her shoulder go pop and just pop out of the socket. She immediately rolled out of the ring, and then once they cut away from her and wouldn't go back, I was like, she's hurt. It's over. This match is done.
Yeah. And you were right. So
yeah. That's a simple production thing because you can always tell when like an injury is a work because they'll look at it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No.
When they don't look at it, that's how you know like there's something wrong.
Oh yeah. No.
So that being said, Scott, you said what was the article from? Was that Bleacher Report?
Bleacher Report. Yes.
Okay. So as per Bleacher Report, Liv Morgan has to undergo shoulder surgery, and she'll be out for a significant amount of time.
We do wish her a speedy recovery.
Yeah, obviously, us here at the Push, we wish her a speedy recovery and a healthy surgery and healing process.
Get well, Liv.
That being said, she's probably out until at least WrestleMania.
You don't think she'll have a
Yeah,
Royal Rumble
maybe.
comeback?
I mean,
that's pushing it. It depends on how serious the injury is and how she handles like the recovery after the surgery.
yeah.
Because like shoulder surgery is weird. It can keep you out for a hot minute, or you could be back really fast. Like perfect example. I know this is um, not exactly on topic for our podcast, but in the NHL, Jack Hughes, one of the players on the New Jersey Devils, had to have shoulder surgery at the end of the season, which was 2 months ago.
Yes.
He had surgery. He's already back on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's already back training, skating. You know, full pads. You know, stick handling and stuff. So, but then you look at it. Really depends on what part of the shoulder. Is it rotator cuff? Is it collarbone? Is it the and I don't know anatomy like that. Is it the back of the shoulder, front of the shoulder?
Yeah.
So it could be a quick recovery. It could be a long recovery. Who knows?
Yep.
So
Uh,
here's hoping that she's good and she's healed up and she's back in time. Maybe like Francis said, maybe
Hopefully
if
for
we're
the
lucky, we
Rumble.
get her back for the Royal Rumble,
Hopefully for
and
the Rumble.
she'll get a nice big pop.
And then
Otherwise, I would say hold her for Mania.
and then until then, they need to clearly pivot with her story with the Judgment Day with Roxanne.
Dom is totally gonna cheat on her with the other girl.
Dom is 100% going to cheat on her.
I hope they don't do that because they already did that once with Rhea and Liv.
Hey man,
I feel like that's just a Dom thing. What if that's just him? He just moves on from girl to girl.
That's just his character.
Again,
the girl he's with gets injured, he moves on to somebody else.
His character.
And the long-term storytelling is it's all going to blow up in his face.
That's why
there's going to be a certain money runs.
That's why his gimmick is wrestling Pete Davidson. Think about it.
No,
not wrong.
Yeah.
Don't insult Dom like that.
I mean, well,
he's better than that.
No, I'm kidding. Anyway, moving on.
Speaking of Dom, real quick, we can talk about Dom Mysterio winning his Intercontinental Championship at Money in the Bank.
Yeah, there was a sporadic match that was added during the Worlds Collide event earlier on that day.
To cement the partnership between WWE and AAA.
Yes, to cement the partnership between WWE and AAA. Partnership, corporate takeover, whichever you want. Potato. So, by the way, very cool event. Very cool getting a chance to see a glimpse of some of these guys and girls. Just this entire AAA roster that now falls under the umbrella of WWE. One of those people, though, are a guy I'm going to be very honest here, and if anybody in the comments or anybody who's watching this does know more information about him, you can definitely let us know. Octagon Jr. I have never heard of this man before. I'm going to be just very honest here. I have never heard of this man before. When I first saw the thing, I was questioning, why is Dominic fighting a ninja? And I don't, unfortunately, I don't have a lot to say on him. I don't have a lot to say on this match. Dominic did win.
Yeah.
It was a cool match.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. Was cool. He's cool. I'd like to see more of him.
We can still give it a good topic to fend off into the next one. Francis, you're our weeb. You know about this guy probably. He probably knows more about this guy.
To do with it.
Okay, but being a weeaboo and a weeb is
about
Japanese,
Japan,
like into Japanese stuff, not Mexican, not fucking.
He's still a nerd on wrestling. Okay, so
you know what? We're going out of the United States here, and who better to go out of the United States and talk about a wrestler overseas, even though it's not really overseas, other than Francis Harrison. Francis, what do you know about Octagon Jr.?
Well,
he has 8 sides.
It's true.
Other than the fact that he has 8 sides.
He is the son of Octagon Senior. That's not a joke. His dad really was a luchador named Octagon. And he,
Oh yeah, that's how.
I kind of
That's
figured
how
that was the
Lucha,
case.
That's how
Yeah.
Lucha Libre works. That's like Rey Mysterio is
Rey
technically
Mys-
Rey Mysterio.
I
too.
know. It's just I didn't want you guys to think I was being fucking stupid. Like, no, his.
And even Penta. Penta isn't just
Pentagon
Pentagon.
Jr.
He's Pentagon Junior.
Also, fun fact: Pentagon Senior was created to be a rival against Octagon's dad.
That's funny.
Yeah,
That's very funny.
it is extreme long-term wrestling.
So wait, is there a triangle?
No, as far as
What about a parallelogram? Is there a parallelogram, Senior?
I mean, if you
Francis,
want to get
please continue with the explanation, just so the shape jokes can stop.
there's not much to say. He like most luchadors comes from a long family history in the business. Son of Octagon. He's been a relative newcomer, and he was trained by his dad down in Mexico, and he's been on AAA.
They're all descendant of geometry.
Yeah, geometry. Really, the wrestler I would have talked the most about was Mr. Iguana.
God damn it.
I knew he was.
I knew he was going to talk about it. All right, yeah, I've been seeing memes about this guy all over the place. What's this guy's story?
He has a puppet iguana. I don't know.
He's the okay. How much do you guys remember of Ed, Ed and Eddie?
Yes.
Well,
I love it.
Basically,
Favorite
this guy's
Cartoon Network show.
Johnny.
Yeah, remember the lizard? Remember that time where Eddie tricked Ed into thinking that he was the Lizard Man? Think that,
Yeah.
but played straight. He's the fucking Lizard Man from Ed, Ed and Eddie.
You've got to be kidding me.
I'm so not even kidding. He fucking goes around. He's just like, "Ooh, I like to be Lizard Man," and he does the Mr. Sacco / Santino Cobra thing, where he takes his little fucking lizard puppet and he throws it at people, and the lizard puppet is also alive. It's totally not just him, and he just goes up to people and does weird lizard things.
Did you guys see how
I-
excited
I-
he got when he talked about this?
You know what? Though here's my thing. Again, another. I'm gonna quote Mr. Simon Miller here from What Culture Wrestling. I fucking love goofy wrestling.
You know,
That pisses me off just as much as Aquatic Stone Cold Steve Austin in TNA.
Are you
Shark
talking
Boy?
about Shark Boy?
You're talking about
I fucking
Stone
hated
Cold
his
You
Steve
hated
guts.
Austin?
Shark Boy?
I hated his guts. That was the stupidest fucking thing. And the very few times I watched
Kane.
TNA,
Are you
the very
upset
few
about
times,
Blue Kane?
the very few times I watched
Okay.
TNA, I hated his guts every single time.
What about Candy Cane?
Those I like. Those I really like. But Shark Boy, I hated.
Wait a minute, you're
What about
okay
Lava
with
Girl?
the 7 different variants of Kane that exist in independent circuits right now, but you had a problem with Shark Boy?
Because why
Yeah.
is a Shark Boy acting like Steve Austin?
Because it's funny. That's
It
why.
was stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. When it
Yeah.
comes to Mr. Iguana, I mean, there's probably some comedy here. I
But he can also go in the ring. Like, he's really good.
Oh, I believe it.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, to an extent, you have to be.
Yeah.
But
And the Lizard is also a good wrestler.
maybe maybe this is this is just something I'm gonna have to get used to. Based on the memes that I've seen of this guy, it's almost a guarantee he's getting put in at least NXT.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna get put in NXT, and then he's gonna have a match with Santino, so they could have the fucking
Cobra versus the
fight.
Iguana.
No, that's in TNA because Santino's in TNA.
It's all the same
And
thing.
what
at
is
this point.
TNA partnered with?
It's NXTNA.
It's all the
Yeah,
same thing at
exactly.
this
So
point.
if Mr.
It
Iguana is
barely
in
matters.
NXT,
But you know what? I'm willing to see more of him. Once again, we're going completely off topic here because this match really wasn't anything to talk about.
yeah, it was a
It was a last
knew-
minute addition.
it was a last minute addition to advertise AAA, and you knew Dom wasn't gonna lose.
Oh, not to this guy, but
I mean, maybe in the future.
maybe.
not then.
I'm thinking the fact that they chose him specifically means that they see something here with him.
Oh, the dude's an animal. He can go.
And they do seem to really really be paying a lot of attention to lucha right now. Which I'm going to be honest with you, I appreciate. You know, maybe that means Rey Mysterio can finally have a peaceful retirement. But
Nah, he's gonna
Yeah.
wrestle until he's dead.
I hate that you're right.
Anyway, yeah, really. All right, so what was the next match?
Mysterio
Next
wrestler
match.
is part of this match.
Funny enough,
yes.
the next match involves a luchador.
Who?
Not that
Jey
one.
Uso's not a luchador.
What are you talking about? I'm talking about the men's
He's
Money in the
talking
Bank ladder match.
Yeah, were we not talking about?
That was the next match.
Yeah,
Oh, Scott was going
Which
to bring up
involved-
Logan Paul.
Which
Men's
involved...
Money in the Bank. Men's Money in the Bank wasn't the last match.
nope.
No.
The
How
last
the hell do
match.
you call that a Money in the Bank? How the hell do you call that pay-per-view and it's not your
Because you had
last
two
match?
different Money in the
Because you
Bank
have
ladder
John
matches.
Cena, and you're going to put him in the main event.
You're going to
Fuck
put John
John
Cena
Cena.
in the main event. That's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Hey,
Anyway,
whoa,
alright, so ladder match.
whoa.
Hey, Scott.
You would like to, wouldn't you?
It's okay. We get to talk about El Grande Americano, the prime
Oh,
student
yes.
of the school.
Oh, that got me
of
so happy.
American
Yes.
made.
Also, wait, hold on, time out. Speaking of El Grande Americano, did you guys see WWE fucked up?
What do you mean?
What do you mean they fucked up? How did they fuck
They're
up?
so typically, like they usually do. They sell the Rey Mysterio mask at the shows. They've been selling El Grande Americano,
Yeah.
luchador masks
I want one.
at shows and stuff. Someone posted online that they opened the bag that had the mask in it, and when they went to put it on, there was a tag on the inside of the mask. They posted a picture of it too. I gotta find it, but posted a picture of the mask, and on the tag it said Chad Gable luchador mask.
Yeah, they fucked up. It's Chad Gable's student's luchador mask. I'm sure Chad and EGA are going to have a very strongly worded conversation with the folks over in marketing to get this whole mess sorted out.
We don't. I would try to compare this to another marketing mistake, but we don't need to talk about that. It's obviously
Yeah,
like
we're
Francis
not
said, they missed the name. They
Yeah,
missed
it
the
was a
word.
It's a typo. They'll fix it next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the men's
Hold on.
Money in the Bank
Hold on.
ladder match.
Actually, I have the picture right here.
He has the picture. All right, put it up for stream.
Yeah.
I can't see it, so I can't.
Yeah.
Hold
Oh
on.
well.
I will.
It doesn't
I will
matter,
also
Scott.
post it in Discord.
We said everything that needs to be said. It was a typo.
So here's the mask. Right, here's American made. It's obviously the El Grande Americano mask. And I'm just gonna look right here.
Throw it up in the
Chad
Discord.
Gable replica lucha head costume.
That's a fucking nightmare of a sentence. Not
is a
only did
nightmare.
they got the guy wrong, but they also luchador head. They couldn't even call it a mask.
Yeah, why are they calling it a luchador head?
That's
I don't fucking know why they call
What,
it.
did
What's on the-
AI
on
write
the
this?
tag.
Like, what is this?
that phrase is 6 different fucking inaccuracies in one, and I will not stand for that.
It
El
truly- it
Grande
sounds like
Americano
ChatGPT
will
wrote
not
this.
stand for that.
Well, listen, it's the tag that's on like the barcode.
Well, they fucked up.
Anyway, men's Money in the Bank ladder match. It did feature Chad Gable.
Oh my god,
El Grande Americano.
I don't know.
Chad Gable didn't get a chance to be in Money
Chad
in
Gable
the
wasn't
Money in the
fucking
Bank.
there. What is
Well,
your
he was in the
damage?
building. He was in the building.
I posted the picture of the mask in our
picture
chat,
on
so you can
Instagram,
look at it.
on the Discord.
I posted on our Instagram too.
Yeah, post it on our Instagram. That would be funny.
I'm in charge of Instagram, so I'm going to give my 2 cents on this. You can bet
Why
your
are they
ass.
calling it a lucha head costume?
Because they don't know what they're talking about. They put the wrong guy's name on it. What the fuck?
Listen, all I'm gonna say is
This
for a
is
guy who
pissed.
was competing once that night, he looked pretty beat up. I'm just gonna say, it's almost like he had been fighting again earlier that day against a certain Viking. I don't know. It's just interesting. Why did he tape up his arm in the same way that Chad had to tape up his arm?
Solidarity.
To honor his teacher,
You
obviously.
honor his teacher,
Why
Cat.
is taping of your arm honoring your teacher?
I don't
Because
know
he needs to
why.
do what he needs to do what Chad Gable does.
Why do
If
we
he's
all
gonna
wear?
tape up his arm, I'm gonna tape up my arm.
Why
That's
do we wear
stupid.
black armbands at fucking funerals?
I just
You
think it's
wear a black
interesting that the
armband at
same exact
funerals?
arm was
Some
taped
do.
up. And I'm not gonna lie, even in the beginning of the match, he looked kind of beat up. Like,
Yeah, I mean, he's been taking over what should be, Chad Gable's positions. He's constantly in like major matches.
He is
He's
the
gonna get
most
beat up.
active member of American Made right now. He is the workhorse. Really, I'm surprised. Like, I have a feeling he may have done some work in AAA before under a different mask. Could be me. This is just pure speculation. But I feel like he has very deep history with that promotion.
he definitely has history with a promotion, all right? But anyway, let's talk about the other guys. It was fine. El Grande Americano, Chad Gable.
I will piss on your rug.
Get
Seth
on with it.
Rollins, Solo Sikoa, Penta, who I was referring to earlier when I was mentioning luchadors involved in this match. And because basically he's been the poster child of all of this, he's been the forerunner of all of this. Oh God, God damn it, who else was in the match? It was EGA, Seth, Solo, Penta, LA Knight,
Andrade.
and Andrade. Wow, it's telling that he was the one I forgot about.
Yeah.
He's been in I think the last few of them.
He's been in the last 3, I think.
Yeah,
And he hasn't won any of them, which is interesting.
because he's an amazing wrestler, but not good promoter, so he doesn't really get those
And
chances.
I was gonna say again, it's another concept of amazing wrestler, crowd doesn't care.
And it's crazy. They really don't care. I still I'm
no reaction. It's amazing to me.
Yeah.
and it's almost sad because they keep putting him, like, I think they put him in between LA Knight and Seth Rollins.
I have a theory if you guys want to hear it.
What?
Mm-hmm.
You think that his relationship with Charlotte has like part of the reason why no one particularly likes him that much anymore?
It's made it worse.
Yeah.
Somehow. Which I just think is interesting. But yeah, overall, I think this was a very fun match. I thought there were a lot of great spots, but I feel like we'd be doing a disservice if we didn't talk about the part of this match that everybody was talking about. The finally Jacob Fatu turning on Solo. And the
Finally.
Scott, you look very excited to talk about this, so why don't you talk about it?
Yes, finally, Jacob Fatu needs to be on his own. He's already skyrocketed to be better than Solo when it comes to being in the WWE. We need to see this faction disappear. We need to see the bloodline just be finished. Give us back a tag team because they haven't been doing anything. I understand injuries, but still. Solo goes on his own, does other shit, not versing the same 3 members of his family. As for the winner in Seth Rollins, I'm not upset about it.
I'm not
Seth
upset
Rollins
about it at all.
is one of my favorites. I'm just wondering, are we never going to see LA Knight get a major title opportunity? Is it just not going to happen at this point?
I
Did
mean,
they
like,
just ruin his push?
I mean, like, here's the thing, and I'm saying this, and I'm probably the biggest fan of this guy out of all 4 of us.
Or may I say,
Despite the
ruin
fact-
his push?
The fact
Thank you.
Woo! Not me!
Why was that me? Brady was the one that did it. I just said no. There you go. Thank you. That was actually really funny. That
Well, fuck
that
you.
was great.
But anyway, here's the thing. I say this as somebody who's probably the biggest fan out of LA Knight out of all three of us, out of all four of us.
Yeah, I would say so.
Um, Despite the fact that he hasn't had a major title run yet, it's kind of crazy to think how over he still is with the
He
crowd.
bleeds
Yeah, right.
charisma.
He's definitely not at the main event slot the way he was like this time, say last year or 2 years ago, even at that or something like that. But I mean, hey man, the guy still gets reactions. He's still the crowd. He's still very over with people. But I do agree that we desperately need to get a title on this guy. Like I feel like a really good title run would just really sort of take him over when it comes to his popularity.
Same.
Definitely.
But yeah, as far as the Jacob turn on Solo, I mean, hey man, it went exactly the way I thought it would. I kind of had a feeling that this was going to happen where he was going to screw over Solo in some way. And we did get that iconic "I hate you" thing that the internet has been dying for him to say whenever he did eventually turn on Solo. I mean, I don't think you could have written a better way for it to happen. But yeah, as far as Seth winning, I have no problem with it. If anything, I felt like it needed to be Seth Rollins. The second he won his qualifier match, I was like, it needs to be him. It needs to be Seth.
Does his
And
faction still not have a name?
I no, apparently they don't. But that's why I'm just calling him Rollins and the Bronze.
Well, he's in the Bronx.
I'm just
The
saying.
American Pitbull.
Bronze. That's what.
No. El Grande Americano wouldn't want us to be at each other's throats. He wouldn't.
Yeah, but Chad probably would.
See, and that's even a better reason why they're different people, Cap. Thank you for saying
Exactly.
that.
Cap
Thank you for
confirmed they're
saying that.
different people.
Cap finally confirmed that
We
El
knew
Grande
it
and
was only
Gabe
a
were
matter of
different people.
time. It was only a matter of time before you saw the light.
Which one of them do we need least out of all of them? Because one of them needs to be strangled. But
you can try.
I would vote and say Francis is the least important.
Nah, how are we going to get our weeb news and our international fucking appeal?
And who's going to run the
We'll
Instagram?
be able to do without that. I think we need to keep the Scott take so we can bash what's his name. I can't even remember his name. Yeah, that's his name.
Dude, everyone who's anyone bashes Vince Russo. It's not that hard to do.
Yeah, for real. All three. I mean, the rest of us could be bashing Vince Russo, probably even worse than he does. So, but anyway,
yeah,
those
Seth
are my
Rollins
thoughts on the match. It needed to be Seth in order to give this new faction any bit of credibility. And I'm gonna go one way further. This is how we get the title off of John.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So those are my thoughts. You guys.
I don't think he's going to cash in on Cena necessarily, but I do think Cena's going to be involved.
I think Seth Rollins. Continue.
I'm going to be honest. I 1,000,000% disagree with you, Francis. I think that if Seth's thing is all about power right now, well, who's got the power right now in WWE? It's not the World Heavyweight Championship. Let's be perfectly clear. It's just not the World Heavyweight Championship. It's the guy who keeps on saying he's going to ruin wrestling. And what has this whole thing with Seth been about? Fighting for the soul of the company or whatever. Well, here's a guy who's saying he wants to ruin all of it. He wants to steal your soul, Seth.
They're both
and you
heels.
now have a briefcase and two very angry men named Braun.
They are both heels. They are both heels. It wouldn't work.
Yes, it would.
No one.
A cash in? It doesn't have to be a whole
The
match.
cash in? Yeah, of course it would.
No, I'm saying Seth can
This
cash in.
This isn't Vince level booking anymore. Two heels can have a match now.
I'm not saying that.
Not even that.
It's not even
So,
that.
what's your logic here, Francis?
I'm saying like what's more likely going to happen is John and Cena and CM Punk are going to wrestle each other multiple times. Punk is going to take the belt off of him, and Seth's going to cash in on Punk out of spite.
Or if he just ruins
That's
it all
actually a
together
lot
and
better.
just wipes the belt from Cena.
I could see that, but I also think I agree with Cap. I think what's going to happen is Punk is going to take Cena to the limit, and then Seth will cash in at the very end, steal the title, and then they'll feud Punk and Rollins.
Like how he did at Mania 31?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like...
But it's still to screw over Punk.
Yeah, it's still
Like
to screw over CM Punk. Don't worry.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like it's gonna be like Punk is about to get the win. Rollins is gonna come out, curb stop Punk, cash in, pin him. You know, like cash in to make the match a triple threat or something.
Yeah.
And then...
And since it's a triple threat, keep in mind, no disqualifications. Oh, look, here comes the two very big men, very angry, named Braun.
Yeah. They kick the shit out of Cena and Punk. And then Rollins goes home with the title.
Yeah, he has to...
And then they could feud Rollins and
Punk.
Yeah, they'd have to. Cena has less than a year left.
Because I also feel like this is also going to be what knocks Cena out of it and gets him back into being a babyface, because there's no way he's going to retire a heel.
Yeah, maybe he just gets the evil speared out of him a couple of times.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
or maybe it's the 7 tsunamis this man has.
I was gonna say it's gonna be the spear curb stomp tsunami combo.
Oh, is that like the super curb
Maybe they
F
just
stomp?
Basically beat the evil out of him. Like,
yeah.
This I finally witnessed the two problems I finally realized the problems I had with this Money in the Bank. It took me in this almost the entire pay-per-view subject, but I finally figured it out.
because EGA didn't
not
win.
Enough stars. We've got a lot of people in those Money in the Bank opportunities were wrestlers we knew had no damn chance. We used to get Money in the Bank opportunities where we're like, oh, maybe he can win, or maybe he can win. Oh, he could probably win. I don't know.
In fairness,
but this one we were like,
I felt about the women's Money in the Bank match.
Both of them. It's both of them. I feel it on both.
You felt like there were no stars in the women's Money in the Bank match?
No, I'm not saying no stars, but nobody. I didn't know. Not no stars. I mean, there wasn't enough people where you think, oh, they're gonna win this. It was like one or two. It was basically a 2-person race for both of them. Like there was either. For the women's, it was either going to be, well, we got that completely wrong because the two people we thought wasn't going to get it, Roxanne or Rhea Ripley, were probably the two favorite, and probably the two everybody thought were going to make it, and then we got curved there. And then...
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
that was the weird one.
The women's Money in the Bank was good. Because it's like, it could have went in any direction, and we would have been shocked.
So this one was just Seth and LA Knight.
No, the men's
Money in the Bank
was...
So, actually, wait, hold on. Scott, correct me if I'm wrong. With the women's Money in the Bank match, it felt like any of those women could have won, and we could have been happy. And then they swerved us with Naomi.
Yeah, I went back to it. It was just the men's one. It's just
with the men's Money in the Bank, it was plainly obvious who it was going to be.
It was plainly obvious. It was only 2 people.
Okay.
Who do you think the other one was?
It was LA and Rollins. Were the only 2 people. LA or Rollins, because LA is always, you never know with him. And this is like one of the 3 perfect opportunities for LA Knight to get a title shot, because I don't think he's getting it under just being, oh, you're the next competitor. He has to be able to win a Rumble or something. I feel like that's the only way we're going to see it.
I feel like if Jey Uso didn't lose the title back to Gunther, that would have been good. Have LA Knight beat Jey Uso.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a bit, actually.
But yeah, let's finish up the night.
Anyway, let's talk about the
talking about
main
insanely
event.
predictable matches.
Yeah.
Talking about Cody Rhodes.
Everybody.
and Jey Uso.
Everybody.
Everyone got
So
a
we're
point
going with
on
the next
ladder
one, right?
match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody but me. Oh, no. Where is it? Rollins. No, just Cap and Dom won that one. You both picked Rollins. Me and Francis didn't.
Wow, two of you are geeds.
Well, Francis, who'd you pick?
Francis was the. I at least picked LA Knight. Francis was the worst pick.
Who did
He picked
pick?
Solo.
You fucking moron.
I saw the bloodline thing not fucking ending. I thought I never-ending story, Dom. Cut me some slack.
You see, even if I thought you were going to go with the stupid
never-
option, I thought it would be El Grande, but
Francis, the never-ending story got changed a while ago. It's now the breakup of the Judgment Day, because that's been going on for like 3 years. They haven't broken up yet.
Even when I think you're going to go with the stupid option, you still pick the stupider option.
So yeah, what happened in the main event, Dom? What happened in the main event?
All right, it was Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso versus Logan Paul and John Cena.
Wow, Dom, you sure do sound.
The good guys won.
You sure do sound like that Deed Cap.
Everybody got this one right except me. I'm the one who picked Cena and Logan Paul.
Yeah. But let's be perfectly honest here. The match comes secondary to what happened during the match, which is either WWE rewriting their fuck up, or it is the greatest work ever performed in WWE history. And they've already confirmed it was never a work. The Truth is back.
Dark Truth! Dark Truth! That's what I'm calling it.
So anyway,
our Truth came back, kicked the fuck out of Cena. Cody Rhodes wins.
Cost him the match. Actually, you know what? Since we're talking about this, let's talk about this. Let's talk about Ron, shall we? Let's talk about Mr. Killings.
Well, because he's one of our topics, so let's just cancel out this Money in the Bank one.
Yeah,
let's just announce the one.
We'll get to that in a second. All right, yeah. Who got points on this last match?
Everybody
but you said?
Everybody but me.
All right,
and
what's the final total?
Final total is tied for third is me and Francis with 2, and tied for first is Dom and Cap with 4.
Dang.
Damn. True battle of wits.
You guys beat it out.
True battle of wits. Me and Dom. The two
no
of
more.
You other two appear to be witless, but
I'll show you, witless.
I didn't pick Solo.
Yeah, look in the mirror.
I. Oh yeah? Well, you know what, Dom? Fuck you!
You bastard! I was about to do that. Oh my god. Oh god.
Anyway, all right, yeah, let's start talking about our Truth.
Yeah, let's talk about Truth. So to say that this has been a roller coaster, I feel like would be an understatement. I know that I love Truth. I think he was the best comedy gimmick that WWE had put out probably ever.
He's up there.
Even if he wasn't like a main eventer or anything like that, I was genuinely never
he didn't need to
see our Truth. He didn't need to be. But now we are going a completely different direction with him. And it feels like we're calling back to those heel Truth days.
Yeah, that was weird.
But still being different somehow. And actually, I want to talk about the original segment when he came back on Monday Night Raw. Did anybody else feel like there was kind of like a heel vibe to it almost?
Yeah, he's Dark Truth now. He's not necessarily a heel. He's just an edgelord.
Yeah, he said, like, he's still our Truth, but he's also Ron Killings, but he's also like not gonna be like the goofy, funny R-Truth. Like he's gonna be a more serious R-Truth, and then he cut all his hair off.
He's gonna have, in the famous words of Eric Cartman, he's gonna get back his authority.
I mean, listen, this man is a 54-time 24/7 champion.
True. The most championships of any WWE superstar, any professional wrestler, I think. Like theoretically speaking here, a former
He's
United
also
States
he's also
champion.
the first person to win a championship in the air.
That's true.
Because he did win the 24/7 championship on a plane.
Yeah, he did do that. But
in all
also,
seriousness, other than the joke that is the 24/7 title, yes, like Cap was saying, he is a former United States champion,
a former
tag team champion.
Like this guy, R-Truth, he's real. This guy, he is real.
Which is the opposite of his friend Little Jimmy.
But we don't talk about him.
Yes, but we don't talk about that. Even though he was talking to himself somehow, he was talking to somebody. I don't know. So I don't know. How do we feel about this? How do we feel about this return so far? It's plainly obvious that he only has eyes of revenge for John Cena right now.
I mean, listen, can you blame the guy? He was deeply and emotionally hurt by his childhood hero.
Yeah.
That he is older than.
He's older than. And was technically before he even started, but
I think we're missing a major part of this whole R-Truth situation.
What's up?
And this is something that's happened for the first time in WWE history.
What is it?
Our voices was heard.
No, it's not the first.
Yeah, it's not the
literally called this. It is the first time.
The fastest turn. No, it's not.
It's
Matt Hardy in 2005.
I've seen.
Yeah, Matt Hardy.
Daniel Bryan Danielson.
People. Yeah. This is just the fastest turnaround. That within within like 24 hours he was re-signed.
Yeah.
3 days.
3 days.
3 days, I believe.
Okay. In less than a week, he had gone from being let go to re-signed and back on TV.
Complaining works,
I mean, yeah, it does, especially with Triple H. And Triple H, like, I don't blame the guy. He tried to make it seem like it was a work, and it's like, luckily you're in the industry where you can probably get away with it no matter what the situation is and be like, oh yeah, it was work.
Is he even in control of dropping and hiring?
Yes.
Yeah.
Triple H is?
Yeah.
He is the chief content.
No, this was all on him.
He is 100% in charge of creative. Granted, if TKO turns around and says, hey, we want to get rid of the contract, they get rid of the contract.
Yeah.
So it might not have been his call, but he was unfortunately the executioner there.
He was. Yeah.
So here's my only thing that, TKO and Triple H have come out and said basically a lot of these recent cuts came out of TKO and Triple H didn't come out and say this. This was reported by people close to them. Like
they're like $1 million in debt, right?
Like dirt sheets and stuff. No. Well, yes, but not that. A lot of the budget cuts are coming from, like, a lot of the wrestler cuts are coming from budgetary reasons. They're getting rid of contracts that were maybe too much money but weren't earning what they were getting paid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they weren't making money for the company worth what they were getting paid.
Yeah.
So I would not be shocked if maybe this came from Truth's contract was a little too big. And, like, yes, he's a comedy act and he's very popular and people love him, but he doesn't sell merch. So they let him go and hired him back out, like, with a pay cut, basically, probably.
One that he was a lot more willing to accept, however, because I had heard that they originally offered him to take a more severe pay cut, and he just said no. And
Yes.
that's part of the reason
Yeah,
why he got let go.
yeah, it was gonna be pretty bad. Like, because they offered, I think it was they offered him a new contract. He didn't like it, so they fired him. Um, so they probably negotiated and figured out a way to get him back.
Hey, man.
But listen, moral of the story on this one: if you like a wrestler, buy their shit.
Yeah.
Either
It's that simple.
let
If you want
people,
to see them, if you want to see them do well, buy their stuff.
and for the love of
Buy
God, react.
from the WWE website and react. If you're in the crowd, if you're there live, fucking make some noise. Just
React.
Because
React to these people. Buy their merch. All of it. Everything that Dom.
professional wrestling is a very fickle thing. Especially when you get to the productions that are on TV, like AEW and
TNA.
TNA and the WWE. Um, Everything they do is in the interest of the board, is in the interest of their shareholders, and is in the interest of the CEO.
Hence,
What is going to make them the most money? That's what comes first.
hence why they have.
Unfortunately, us as the fans, we come last, but we hold all the power. If we want something, perfect example, look at Jey Uso. He got over, people popped for him, everyone bought his merch, they fucking threw a title at him. They took it away.
Yeah, we'll
But
get to that next. Don't worry.
moral of the story is, if you want someone to do well in the professional wrestling world, make noise, buy merch.
Yeah.
Unless you're
The
LA
best
Knight.
merch seller, the best merch sellers get the best treatment.
Look at Austin and the NWO.
Yeah. Look, it's very,
Look at
very
DX.
simple, people.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it also helps when you're banging the boss's daughter.
Mhm.
That's besides.
That was before. They were selling really good before that.
But I mean, listen, people, it's very simple. Everything that Dom's saying here is 100% correct. And if you do, because if you don't do these things, then we're just gonna end up with, more celebrities throwing their hats into the ring for wrestling matches.
Yeah.
We're gonna get
not,
more.
Not even that. You're gonna get people who deserve to be in the main event, who deserve to be getting paid millions and millions of dollars and have their own tour bus sponsored by some alcohol.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, here's the thing: you're going to get more of those, but they're gonna be people that you want to be there.
mhm.
It's either we decide
Exactly.
who's in the main event, or it's they are going to decide who is in the main event. And they're going to pick
Exactly.
9 times out of 10 somebody you don't want
The
in the main event.
The person who sells the most money,
Huh.
sells the most merch, gets the biggest reactions. Obviously they're going to do what works for their story, but they will make it work. If we want somebody else.
But here's
The reason everyone always complains, oh, another topic jump. They bring back legends for whatever because they still get a pop.
Yeah.
You look at everyone bitches and complains about Goldberg. I'm guilty of it too. Goldberg was like my
it's
childhood
not just
favorite
you,
wrestler.
it's all of us.
No, I know, but I pop for Goldberg too. I mark out for Goldberg. He was my favorite when I was a kid. He's still kind of my favorite now, even though he's old and can't wrestle as good as he used to.
Wrestling is a very.
I still pop for Goldberg,
Yeah.
and so does the crowd, and people are gonna buy his shit.
Yeah.
And they're going every time he shows up, whether you like him or not, you're still sitting in the crowd going Goldberg.
No, listen,
Goldberg. But that's what I'm saying. Everyone always complains. Why do the legends have to come back and do the thing? Because they sell.
they still get.
It's that simple. They still make money.
Yeah. Listen, it's not just Goldberg. I still pop for the Hardy Boys. The Hardy Boys have no reason.
How do you not?
They have no reason to be wrestling right now. Matt and Jeff, especially Jeff, has no reason that they should.
How is he still alive?
Well, here's the thing. Matt needs to wrestle. He's got like 7 kids.
Well, yeah. No, he needs to be wrestling until he's
and
done.
if he's home, he's gonna have like 17 more.
Yeah, true. For some reason,
because
those two just
like he
can't stop
just doesn't
popping
know how
his
to fucking
children.
pull out. Apparently,
Jeff has a couple kids too, but nowhere near as money as
Not
Matt
even close
does.
to the same amount that
no,
Matt
dude,
does.
he's Jeff has like 2 kids and they're like grown adults.
Yeah.
Um,
Matt has I think what legitimately I think he
I
has like
think
5 or
four
6.
kids that are all under 10.
yeah,
Because again, he has shit pull out game.
I don't think he just does not pull out. Period.
I mean,
I
anyway,
mean, listen, if I was making that much money, I'd have a lot of kids too. Shit.
If I was married to Rebby Sky, like.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Still know
not
you
that kind
fucking
of
Sim
show.
Fantasy.
Not
Shut
that
up.
kind of show. Not that kind of show. But anyway, regardless, the point being, they are two guys clearly out of their prime, no reason to still be wrestling. But the second I hear those damn drums playing, I am freaking out.
Yeah, and you're gonna
Suddenly get the
dance
urge
like
to
a.
jump off a ladder.
He's gonna do the fucking stupid Jeff Hardy dance.
The moral of the story is, folks, yeah, it's like I said, either we pick who's in the main event or they will pick for us who is in the main event. Speaking of the main event, and speaking of your childhood favorite, Dom, let's talk about the World Heavyweight Championship. And get ready for this, folks, because something astounding is about to happen. Me
Cap and Scott
and Mr.
agreed on
Scott
something.
Bash are going to agree on something.
I feel like you guys have agreed on something before. I just can't remember what it is.
Usually, it's something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also agree with you guys. Like as much as excited, like again, my inner child is like fuck yeah Goldberg, but like the adult in me who's been in this business and
And gets it.
gets
A
it
guy who's been around this
on
for
a
a bit.
deeper level and like understands, and just a guy who was a fan of Goldberg and is a fan of Goldberg and just watched him age and the quality of his matches. Granted, this is probably going to be his last match, so I'm still gonna kind of fucking mark out a little bit.
Actually,
But
you know what? This is an interesting question here, Dom.
this has
Specifically,
the potential to be. I'm sorry, but like this has the potential to be his last match in the WWE. So I don't think he's winning the title. First off,
Yeah.
second of all, I think the only reason that they pulled the title off of off of Jey Uso to put it back on Gunther is because Goldberg said, "Listen, this is going to be my last match. I want Gunther make it for it has to be for a title. It can't just be just because."
Yeah, Gunther's like the old retired wrestlers. Gunther's like the favorite among them.
Well, not even that. It's just like Gunther. Like Gunther seems like the kind of guy that Goldberg would pick
he's
because
professional.
He's been calling out Goldberg a while now, hasn't he?
That too, but I think that's been building to this. I think they've done that on purpose over time because Goldberg's been saying for a long time now he wants his last match within the WWE. He wants it to happen. So I'm sure he picked Gunther months ago. So this I could see this being one of those things. It's like Gunther has the pedigree. He had to.
No, Triple H and Seth Rollins have the pedigree.
Shut the fuck up. He has the pedigree. He has the resume. He has that aura about him. He could be he is the guy that could realistically put Goldberg down for good.
Okay, I agree.
Because there's, in my opinion, outside of other legends, there's nobody in the current roster that could do it. That realistically could do it. Maybe Braun Breaker.
Roman Reigns?
And that's a big maybe. No, Roman, they've done this already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
I don't disagree with anything that you're saying. No. However,
do I think it's going to be a good match? Absolutely not.
However, I feel like we are essentially sacrificing a lot here just to
Oh
make
yeah,
Goldberg happy.
absolutely. We killed Jey Uso.
And
His
yeah,
his push is done,
yeah,
in my opinion.
let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about it.
In order to do this, in order to make Goldberg happy, they pulled the title off of Jey Uso.
They've killed it.
They had him pass out to the
They've killed it. What? But hold on. I'm sorry. Yeah, I need to rant. I'm sorry. I need to
no,
rant.
go for it. Go.
I apologize because I hated all of this. Um, Arguably next to Francis, I have been one of the biggest supporters of this title run when it comes to Jay.
Mhm.
Um, having him win the title at WrestleMania, made perfect, complete sense to me. The match was whatever the match was.
Mhm.
However, the title run was mediocre at best. He defended it he defended it once. And when he lost the title to Gunther on that Raw, I'm gonna be honest, I genuinely had the feeling of like, if we wanted to rip the title off of Jay so badly, you should have just had Logan beat him at that point.
Mhm.
I would have thrown myself off a bridge at it, having Logan Paul as champion. I would have you know, just disappeared for 3 months, which I ended up doing anyway.
Yeah.
But that was for a different reason. But I felt like if we were going to do this, we might as well have done it to Logan. We might as well have given the belt to Logan at that point. Giving the title back to Gunther, it causes several problems. Because what the hell happened at WrestleMania then?
It was a weird match.
Because it's like it wasn't even like
the tapping out.
the rematch wasn't even close.
No, a weird
It-
match.
fucking-
A weird match.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it wasn't even like a close match. Gunther fucking wiped the floor with Jay. Like he made him look stupid.
He made him look bad, and then he choked him out and everything like that.
Choked him out like immediately.
At WrestleMania, he tapped out in seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So if he was just still this like monster that he was beforehand,
Why did he
what
lose
the hell
in the first
happened
place?
at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
It just makes him look like an idiot.
Yeah, because now it just looks like Jay got lucky. Like
B,
he fluked him.
Let's
That's
talk about
basically
that.
what he said. That's basically what Gunther said in his promo. He's like, there were small opportunities of you having success, and you have accomplished it. But when I versed you, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
He explained it in a promo. He said, "You got lucky when you beat me, but this is not the last time. This time I'm back."
And then he went and proved it. Of like, oh
Yeah.
shit, yeah, no, maybe he did get lucky.
But like I said, that just kills everything that Jey Uso.
Yeah, that's the next thing I was going to talk about. B, Jey Uso, the main event Jey Uso character, is essentially done at this point. I don't know what the hell it takes to get him back to that slot. I know he's in the King of the Ring tournament and stuff like that right now. Honestly, seeing the other people that are in that, Jay deserves it the least out of all of them.
It's a Cody. It's probably going to be like Francis made the prediction. This is probably my prediction. Cody's going to win it. Cody's going to beat Cena, and then Rollins going to cash in against Cody.
Think about that. The other options are Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton. All three of these guys deserve the King of the Ring slot way more than Jay.
Way more than Jey Uso.
Way more than he does. So this whole singles push has been just completely ripped apart now.
Yeah. Honestly, and then it makes me laugh because talking about this too is like you look at Rikishi was pissed off and he was like talking shit about how it's bad booking and this and that. He goes, it makes no sense, which he's absolutely right.
It doesn't.
But you ever notice he only ever says shit like that to defend Jay, but will never say anything.
Hasn't said shit about
Jimmy.
Jimmy. He He doesn't even pretend to have a favorite at this point.
Like, no.
Let's be
He
completely
fucking
honest.
very
Never
clearly
for
favors
Jimmy.
Jay.
It's never for Solo. It's only ever Jay.
Yeah.
All
The
right.
man doesn't even pretend like he has a favorite. And then my last thing is, and then Scott, I will let you go. But my last point is, this doesn't even make Gunther look good.
No.
This doesn't even help.
It just makes him look stupid. It makes him look stupid. Like, it's like, how the hell did you lose at Mania
like,
to him this
again, so what the hell happened at WrestleMania? And, let's say that you're 100% correct. Goldberg wanted his last match to be against Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. He gets that. He's not winning the title. He's absolutely not winning the title. That's not
What if
happening.
he does?
So Gunther puts down Goldberg.
No, but here's my thing. If he was going to win, they should have just let him fight Jay, because then he could fight Gunther later.
So Gunther puts down Goldberg. And now what? Where do we go from here?
Whoever wins King of the Ring takes on Gunther.
It's...
Caps crash out.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. This entire thing has ruined not only these two guys, it kind of hurts the World Heavyweight title in itself.
Yeah, the title. I know, Scott, you've said this in the past, but a title should not change hands so fast.
It's hurt it.
Unless it's something like the hardcore title or like the 24/7, it does not need to change hands that often.
And it's not even changing it. It's being bounced around by
between the same two guys.
It's being bounced around by one guy, really.
Especially if Jay winds up winning King of the Ring and challenges Gunther and wins it back, then that's really fucking stupid. But
it
ruins
the entire thing. I don't know. Scott, go ahead.
I can help Rikishi out. Of course, it doesn't make any sense because you're lucky your son got the title in the first place because he didn't really deserve it. I knew it was going to suck as a title reign, and it's exactly what had happened. I hate this entire thing. I did not want to see Gunther go near another championship until maybe the Rumble, because at that point he could be a Rumble winner because the last few Rumbles he's been right there at the very end. I didn't want this at all. I wanted to see a character. I wanted to see development of Gunther's character. I wanted to see him develop more things differently. All we got was him versus Pat McAfee, which I mean
was a better match.
Great.
I'm not gonna lie.
Which was
better than the second match he had with Jay. So.
It was better than most matches that he had with Jey Uso, but it wasn't like, I don't understand. It just looks like he was like, yeah, I lost the title. Let me just get this little vendetta out with the announcers or the commentators, and then go back to beating Jay for the title. But shouldn't have changed in the first place. Gunther still should have been the champion throughout this entire run. Going into the Goldberg situation, you don't even need, but then going to the realistic standpoint of what just happened is Jay losing it and going back to Gunther. You don't need a chance. Why does Goldberg? Why does this have to be a title match? Why does Goldberg, just because Goldberg's in it, he has to have a title match? I didn't see Undertaker do that for his last match. He wasn't for a title match. I'm not going to see. I mean, yeah, John Cena, we're seeing his final run with a title match, but that's because of his certain situations. I don't see Randy Orton demanding, I demand the title match for my very last match. Because most likely when he's done full time, he's done completely. When it comes to Randy, this is a pointless match. I think this is for a Saturday night main event.
It is.
Which makes it even worse because now this is probably going to be the second time we're going to get a terrible special event card in Saturday night main event.
I don't think this is for main event. This is for Night of Champions, I think.
I heard it was for a main event.
Hold on. I'm going to look.
You
Oh
can
God,
look it
please
up
let
right
it be
now.
Saturday night main event. It'll be even worse if it was for night champions.
Yeah. Let's just be
Well,
glad it's not on a Saudi show, because if it
at
was on a
least,
Saudi show, Goldberg would win.
I mean, let's be honest. This seems like the type of match that they would put on a Saudi show.
Uh, I thought it was when I heard it was announced.
Well,
I
Dominic,
don't like any of this. I wanted to see something different. I want to see a finisher from this guy. The sleeper hold and the power bomb is not your finisher.
So
Not they're
here's the
too
thing.
basic. He's too basic of a move set that he does for him.
See,
There you go.
here's the thing. I kind of like the fact that he doesn't have a finisher.
Yeah.
Because it makes him different than everybody else.
he just beats you.
But
His finisher
anyway,
is "You Die Now."
yeah. Anyway, I did look it up from WWE's website. It is for Saturday Night Main Event.
Okay.
Which
Right.
is what scares me, because that, for in my mind, opens up the possibility that this won't be his last match. That he is going to wind up winning the title to then drop it at a bigger event like a Saudi show.
Or worst case scenario, SummerSlam.
No, it wouldn't be that long.
Really?
No, if he wins that Saturday Night Main Event, he's going to drop it by Night of Champions. Or he's just not going to be seen until SummerSlam, and that's when he drops it.
Is there a
But
person here?
SummerSlam is like,
Look, regardless,
SummerSlam isn't even 2 months away, so that's whatever.
Yeah.
look, regardless, whether it was Night of Champions or whether it was Saturday Night Main Event, this is a gimmick match for a very gimmick pay-per-view. And
Either way, it's very much a B pay-per-view or not even a pay-per-view.
And
sacrificing your what's supposed to be your second most important title to you know, this word gets used a lot, but I can't think of a better way of saying it right now. To use your second most important title to pander to an old man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it looks bad. This is shit that Vince McMahon would be.
I mean,
it also hurts because
the
same day that I saw the same day on Monday when Goldberg popped up to challenge Gunther is the same day I saw a picture of Goldberg at a gas station that says, "Damn, he really just got old and his muscle mass completely disappear." Like this was the match that we wanted a couple of years ago when Goldberg was still somewhat in the shuffle of like popping up every once in a while, but it's
Scott?
No, yeah.
They lose.
Scott froze.
All right,
Damn.
Scott froze. But
While
yeah, no,
we're going to come back so we can finish his thought.
Yeah, but I feel like I know what he was talking about. You know, this feels like a match. Had we been doing this 2-3 years ago, it would have been perfectly fine.
But he's damaged goods, as it were.
It's call it what it is. It's pandering to an old man at this point.
Well, even that, I'm going to give it this much. Like, I'm not going to defend this in any way, shape, or form, but, like, I don't necessarily think that Goldberg himself is to blame for all this. I would put more of the blame on the higher-ups at TKO and the people who, the book. Again, it all comes back to bad booking.
Sorry, I had to disconnect Scott so he could realize that he's frozen.
Yeah.
And rejoin.
But yeah, it's
there he is.
It all goes back to bad booking. I highly doubt that Goldberg just storms into TKO's office and says, "Yo, I'm taking the belt off of Gunther."
Because my thing is, sorry, Scott, I had to kick you so you could realize you were frozen.
I realized way too late.
It's all good. At least you're back.
Yeah, I know he had a contract that had like a specific number of matches on it, and I know he was getting towards the very end of that. Whether it's 1 or 2 left, I don't know. I also wouldn't be shocked if this is like I said, using up the last matches in his contract just so he could be done,
Yeah.
but also kind of getting his son in, because his son is,
Training, right?
His son is
I don't
training.
know if he's training for wrestling, but I know he's about that age, like he's in his 20s.
It's about
So
that time to see if there's a Goldberg Jr. here.
We already have a
yeah,
better
'cause,
Goldberg. His name is Braun Breaker.
no, but like honestly, because he's probably gonna just go by his name of Gage Goldberg. Um. So if he does wrestle, we'll see what happens. But because I'm sure he'll be there. He's been at the last. Basically, every time Goldberg's wrestled in like his last like
Anytime
4 or 5
Goldberg's there,
matches,
his
his
son
son
is
was there.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, but like they made a point to like show him.
I mean,
So it's like I wonder if there's something in the works there. Um, I mean, it's ultimately possible, and like I know the kid plays football.
Yeah.
Like I know that much, and he's in good shape.
yeah. Oh, it's perfectly
Um,
possible that he is.
Yeah.
like granted, he's not as jacked as his dad was at his age, but
Yeah. Yet.
he's still built.
We're getting there.
No, I'm saying he's physically just not as big as
Yeah, no.
his father. Like I think he's a little shorter.
No, that's fine. Honestly.
Which is not that big a
No,
deal.
it's not.
But my point being, hi Batman.
As we were interrupted by a cat.
Yeah. My point being, I wouldn't be shocked if this is like a way to get him an in, and like just be like, hey, let me get my last match out, get my son a little more acclimated. It could just be his last match. It could be maybe second to last, and like I don't know. I didn't see Goldberg having his final match on a Saturday night main event.
Mm.
And that's my only thing. Is like I can see him doing a Saudi show because he would like. I feel like he would want a bigger crowd for that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and let's be honest, at a Saudi show, he'd be treated like a god.
Yeah.
Oh, they fucking love him over there.
They
Yeah.
adore him over there, and because they
And-
love
and-
guys from the '90s over there.
And in all fairness, nothing beats a good Saudi paycheck.
Yeah.
For them,
Well,
they have like the highest pay.
yeah, Saudi blood
Payout.
money, I know.
No, I wasn't even going on that. It's just the Saudi paid a lot of money
Yeah.
to have that contract.
Yeah.
So they, the wrestlers that wrestle those shows, they make extra.
Yeah, no,
I'm sure they do.
no, they
I
do.
told you
They
guys
do.
the Yokozuna story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted Yokozuna without realizing.
They want Yokozuna, who's been dead for what, fucking like 10 years.
Yeah.
Not
Not
exactly.
exactly.
They're probably in. Well, at least we know what time frame of their program they're getting in.
Yeah, for them, the Monday Night Wars are still happening.
Yeah, they just
No one
Yeah.
tells them the WWE wins.
we just got to ruthless aggression. Nah. Let's be serious. They probably just made it to the PG era.
I'm
No,
sorry.
in all seriousness, they have like they love old.
Yeah,
the
no,
old
they
wrestlers
love.
and
I
stuff,
believe
which-
the Prince is a big fan of '90s wrestling, so
Yeah.
it makes sense.
So-
Mostly because Bill's the only one that's left. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
We'll see.
I don't know. Like I said, this could be his last match, or possibly. Like I said, my only thing, if this isn't his last match,
Who is?
I still say they shouldn't have even pulled the belt off of Jay. They should have had him beat Jay, so Gunther can put him down at like a Saudi show.
They should have had. I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. I don't know where we go.
We're just
with,
gonna have to wait and see.
I don't know
Yeah,
where
exactly.
Jay goes
Like,
from
this is one
here.
of those.
I don't know where.
This is one of those situations we're just gonna have to sit back and watch and just figure it out.
We're sitting back and we're watching, but also like they.
Have someone more deserving beat Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
We're reaching the point where we have a serious problem with the World Heavyweight Championship right now.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. What else did we want to talk about? What else
I
happened?
believe there was one other thing that Francis really
King of the
wanted
Ring.
to talk
Or the Iconics, but we wanted
we
to.
pretty much talked about King of the
Yeah, we
Ring.
talked
Kind of
about
already
it.
talked about King of the Ring. Francis, there was one story left for tonight. I believe
Everybody,
you
get ready for a Francis Harrison sim session.
Nah, this isn't going to be a Sims.
Hey,
Are
This
you
isn't
sure?
gonna. I'm fairly positive.
I think you're lying.
you're lying.
I'm not lying.
I don't know. You're very adamant on talking about the
right,
Iconics,
all right.
which does not
Guys,
that matter.
I'll cut it.
Guys, listen.
No,
Dom,
go for it.
Scott, people in the audience, listen to me when I say this. All right, I have known this man, Francis Harrison. I have known this man for 10 years.
Fucking
This
got
man has
old,
been
Cap.
my best friend for 10 years. I know this man better than I know myself.
Christ, that's sad.
Get on with it.
So if this guy really wants to
He's a
talk
simp.
about this, I know why he wants to talk about it.
All right, just fucking get on with it. Go, Francis.
Not too long ago, TNA had their Against All Odds pay-per-view, and to kick off the show, they had the Elegance brand versus Brookside, Hudson, and Grace. Elegance brand, the heels, they win. They're the current TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champion, only for their post-match victory celebration to be cut off by none other than Billy Kay and Peyton Royce, formerly the Iconics of WWE, now known as the Inspiration in TNA. This is big news, seeing as how they have been absent from the company for the past 3 years. But with the NXT and A crossovers working really well in their favor, they could not have chosen a better time to have a comeback.
Well, they've also been absent because Peyton Royce had another kid.
Yeah,
So
Sean Spears, right?
I thought they had just like
Mhm.
given
Yeah.
up. And, like I thought that they were just like done.
No, they evidently not. They still give a shit about us and to show up. And I was a big fan of the Iconics when they were in WWE, mainly because I thought they were funny.
and they were also like the only real women's tag team.
That
They were the
too.
best women's tag
Yeah,
team.
they definitely.
I want to say they were the first, but I don't think that's true.
So I have an
They were the-
interesting.
I think they were.
Just
Yeah.
because you mentioned that, Dom, I have an interesting theory here.
Mhm.
And I think it could work because, I mean, we're already seeing it happen right now. Do we possibly see the Iconics or the
Inspiration.
whatever they wish to be called it right now? Do we see them possibly winning the WWE Tag Team title, women's tag titles? Now, I know what you're going to say. Cap, no, they are not WWE superstars. And I would agree with
It
you.
doesn't matter.
But
with the
it doesn't
crossover.
matter
Yeah.
because currently
Hello,
the TNA,
this is proof right here. It does not matter.
it also doesn't matter.
Say his
because-
name, he appears.
It also doesn't matter because the TNA World Champion right now is not a TNA superstar.
It's a WWE guy,
Trick
yeah.
Williams,
It is an
an
Trick
NXT
Williams.
superstar. So
If-
I fully believe that they are capable of crossing the titles between brands.
Mm-hmm.
And let's
Correct me if
Please.
I'm wrong. Were the Iconics not the first women's tag champions?
No.
I
I
want
think they
to
were.
Yeah. They definitely won it. I was at the
Alien
WrestleMania when they
Sasha.
I
won it.
know they won it the most. I know that.
Yeah.
because, well, like you said, they were the first. They were the only actual like real tag team.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I see it happening. What do you think?
Never mind. I was very wrong. The first women's tag champions were Sasha Banks and Bayley.
Ah.
And
Yeah.
then they won it from them, I believe.
I believe so.
I was at that Mania when it happened, yeah.
So yeah, I bring up the idea. Is it possible? Discuss.
Please,
Not
Please
right
get
away.
rid of please get rid of those tag championships. If you need to give them the TNA, please
Yeah.
have them. You can keep
You're not
them
going to give
for as
them
long as
away.
you
TNA already has
No,
their
but
own. They
you-
wouldn't take them.
if it so happens to have a TNA women's tag team to win those titles, I wouldn't be upset if they just kept it with them for like 10, 20 years.
I mean, essentially, it makes sense as well because Liv is injured. You technically do not
wow.
have champions right now.
I'm sorry. The Iconics only won once.
That's a crime.
They only ever held the tag titles once. They beat Bayley and Sasha, lost the titles, and then they got released
That's a crime. That's an actual crime.
because they lost to Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross.
That's a genuine crime. My God.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, especially now, since you kind of have to like work under pressure here, I think the fact that a clearly
Dun, dun,
popular
dun, dun, dun,
women's
dun.
tag team happened to make their return. Why not? I fully believe that they're capable of getting those belts back.
Yeah. Well, I think they're going to be focusing on the TNA belts, like primarily right now.
We'll
They'll,
see.
yeah. Again, it always comes down to we'll just have to wait and see. But if you want my 2 cents, they're going to be focusing solely on TNA. Give it like a couple months or however long they want to have the reign there last, and then after another NXT TNA crossover down the line, maybe.
I mean, honestly though, but like Cap said, because Liv Morgan is injured,
Yeah.
I believe her and Raquel are gonna have to relinquish the title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So I could see them maybe doing like a tag team tournament,
yeah.
and then the Iconics can return.
They wouldn't win
Married
though.
tag team.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
Like I think that would be interesting. Like they say, hey, we're gonna do like a gauntlet match to decide who is gonna be the next women's tag titles, and they put a bunch of women's tag teams together. Like
Yeah. They can
you
show
have
up,
the
but they
Kabuki
won't
War.
win.
Yeah, you have the Kabuki. No, fuck it, have them win. I don't care. You have like the Kabuki Warriors do like in there. You could have
have damage control, have
damage. Well, damage control is done
damage control, and they're
because
kind of
it's
done at this point.
basically just the Kabuki Warriors now.
Basically,
Because Io's doing her own thing, and then Kyrie and Asuka kind of doing whatever. But you have them. You have, you could probably throw Jade and Bianca together again. Still,
You want to bring up
a
another
little bit.
TNA tag team like the Elegance brand?
You can have, yeah, you can have that. You could have like maybe an NXT tag team, and then the last team to show up in the gauntlet match
Iconics
can be the Iconics.
Yeah.
And then have them win. Because that's the fun part about a gauntlet match. You really only need to win the last one.
Yeah.
You really do. I don't know. I think it's very possible. I do see, like, if we're doing a run with these two again, there's definitely going to be some gold around their waist, and Francis will enjoy every second of it because he is a simp. But
I was professional through that whole thing. You're just a bunch of haters.
Simp. Anyway,
I think that's a good place to cut it, boys.
I was gonna say, I believe that just about wraps it up for us today.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Welcome to the end of the episode, folks. If you're still here, that means you enjoy what we do here. And
For
if
some
you enjoy
fucking
what we
reason.
do here,
God damn it, Francis, get out of my head.
I can't. There's so much space. Not the face.
if you do enjoy what we do here, please consider us following us here on Twitch, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we usually have the VODs from the stream up there the very next day. If you want to see even more of us for some reason, consider following us on TikTok and Instagram, where we are doing daily wrestling content on both of those channels. And yeah, thank you for being here, folks. And for all of us here at The Push, my name is Cap.
I'm Dom.
Scott Fish.
El Grande Americano.
No, you're not.
You're a simp. And ring that bell for me, Dom.